What is good? What is good? It is Ice. We are back for some more Dragon Ball Sparking news, and this time it's over the same scan, but we actually got the English translations. There's a shout out to Shonen Games. This was the person I was trying to talk about in the last video. You should go check that out because I have an interesting theory about this scan. But today we're not going to be talking about that theory. We're going to be going over what it says on the English scan, so now we can read it. So getting right into it, for Nappa, his volcano explosion, he can enhance his attack with 2 skills, and his special attack delivers a massive damage on successful hit. So it's more like a buffer and stuff like that, more like a heavy hitter and stuff like that. Makes sense because this is the power category. There's not that really much I want to talk about Nappa. We'll get into some interesting ones in a bit. For Broly with gigantic catastrophe, destructive firepower and wide range attacks, he's an ultimate fire that could leverage his skills and get behind his opponent, right? So that means some abilities will let him get behind, and he has very wide range attacks compared to other characters. For Topo, strike, oppose, and powers up. So he has a power up move when he strikes oppose, whatever that be, just an attack buff or something else we don't know at the moment, but I think it's very interesting. Hot-blooded warrior from Universe 11, pretty interesting. There's not that much to talk about. For Kale, a female player from Universe 6, her offense and durability are off the charts. So it sounds like, if this leads to a question, is there going to be different defense values, kind of like, what's a good example? Kind of like the Storm series, because like I believe, if I'm correct, Gaara has the most defense in the game, and while like characters like Guy and stuff, I think they have some defense, but whatever. But the point is, I wonder if there's gonna be defense values based off like when you first like pick a character, is their defense the same as everyone else, or they're different? That's something that I'm trying to keep in mind in the back of my head when I see this. Like offense or durability. Oh my god, sorry, I can't speak today. But hey, we'll have to see on that. And by the way, this is Gigantic Throw, Kale, Super Saiyan Berserk State. As for future Trunks, Super Explosive Wave, a power type that can take pride in stamina, unleash your explosive strength at close range. He can also let a loose destruction smash attack. I mean, okay, it's not really that crazy. A smash attack, I'm assuming smash attack is just your typical like heavy attacks that does some pretty solid damage compared to like normal attacks and stuff like that. Now here's another interesting one. Master Roshi's max power Kamehameha. He excels in smash attacks by using his skill. He can temporarily enhance his attack and defense. I find this kind of interesting a little bit. So there's gonna be moves that buff, like it's gonna be kind of like Kale, I'm assuming, but it sounds like Kale just has this off rip where Roshi has to use a skill, whatever it be, max Kamehameha, max power Kamehameha, or something else. He can get an attack and defense buff. That's pretty interesting because I'm also curious like what other characters can get stuff like that, right? But that's just, you know, I think Master Roshi has the most interesting one out of all these so far. And this is kind of stuff we saw in the trailer already. I believe this was in the trailer with what was it called again? Wherever the trailer was in December. I forgot what the event was, but basically the big event with all the games and stuff like that. I'm forgetting right now. But anyways, we got you're able to reflect Kamehas and special attacks. I don't think you can reflect ultimates. I'm going to be honest. I doubt you can reflect it. But hey, it's cool, right? And also we got aim for weak points, assault vanish, new option in mid-range combat, close and on your opponents. I'm gonna sound like a fraud for a couple seconds. I never owned Budokai Tenkaichi. I played it from a friend's house, but I never owned it, so I don't fully remember if assault vanish was already a thing. I'm pretty sure it was in some way, shape, or form, but I don't know. So don't roast me per se. Don't roast me, but just keep in mind, I have never owned the series, and I actually plan to play through the Budokai Tenkaichi games on this channel at some point. I just don't know when yet. Maybe in the short future, because to kind of like do something for Akira Toriyama, rest in peace, on that. I know I haven't really talked about that, but obviously everybody in the entire world knows it, so it's just a rest in peace type of thing. But anyways, moving on to this one, which is revenge counter. Counter immediately after being knocked away, throw off your opponent's pace, then go on the offense. To me, this kind of sounds like Wild Sense, in my opinion. This sounds like Wild Sense. That's just the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head. I mean, it could be something else. Let me know down below. There's other mechanics similar to Rage Counter and how this description's being said. But I think of Wild Sense when I see this. Enhance your offense and defense and enjoy the level battles with these actions. An introduction to the new actions in Zero, right? And one more thing, because I intentionally left this out. The power category release emits firepower from the massive warriors. In exchange for severely burning through your energy with key attacks and movement, you hold high offensive power and defensive special attacks. So obviously power types are they have a damage. They got the damage on them, right? And your energy, key attacks, and movement. It sounds like key attacks do more than the other class we'll talk about, and all that jazz. Severely burning through your energy. So it looks like for power, you burn through energy really fast, but you're pretty powerful doing it. So, you know, I think the power types are going to be interesting. And I think that's really about it for the power type. So let's move on to the speed types. And we'll go ahead and talk about this one now, since I just mentioned the power one. Speed unleashes attacks on enemies in the blink of an eye. While you may not be as strong or durable, all the actions are lightning flash. You'll be able to move for longer periods thanks to your low-key consumption. So basically, speed types are basically your spammers. Like, they're basically your spammers. That's kind of what I'm assuming. Obviously, none of us had their hands on the game as of March 17th. None of us have our hands on the game. So we don't really know how the key consumption system's gonna work. But from the sounds of it, you're gonna be spamming with this. Possibly. So it's kind of interesting, like with these types. I'm very interested to see. As I said, it would be cool if there was more than power and speed, but if it's only these two, I'm very curious about all the characters that's gonna have these archetypes, and if these archetypes gonna lead characters to be broken because they have the archetype, right? But moving on, we got hit times prison. The assassin from Universe 6, use your high speed rush attacks and time skip to overcome your opponents. Pretty simple, very straightforward. This reminds me of Xenoverse 2's time skip. Is it Skewer? It might be Skewer. I don't know. It's been a bit since I played Xenoverse, so it might be Skewer, it might be not. But basically, it's the one with the punch or whatever, right? Dang, I cannot talk today, but ignore me. Vegeta alone adds 13 characters to the roster, and Goku alone adds 11 characters to the roster. Now, I think, does that mean per se like currently like what we see, or is that every single version of Goku and Vegeta? I don't feel like thinking about every version of Goku and Vegeta, but you know, because we don't have GT characters yet. We don't have GT characters at the moment. So we'll have to. So this one, it kind of doesn't mean that much at the current second. Hopefully we do get GT characters, because I actually really do like some GT in games. I think they're cool, but we have to see. Moving on to Jace, purple common attack. Speed-based warrior with amazing key attacks, long-range special attacks, and combinations where Birder would overwhelm any foe. So what does this mean? When I think of this, is this game sync 1v1, or did you have like 1v1 primarily while also having the option of doing 2v2s, 3v3s, and stuff like that? Or is this just a Jace exclusive attack? That's something I am thinking about when I saw this, because I was like, well, this is clearly two characters beating up one, right? So this is either just a special interaction, or this is being able to duel up with a friend or something like that. I don't know if it's really the 2v2 aspect. I don't think it is per se, but it's something to like kind of put in the back of my mind to think about it, because it could just be an attack that leads to Birder showing up. It's obviously possible, but as I said in the last video, I'm just spitballing ideas. So I find this one very interesting in my opinion, but we'll have to see. We have to see in the future. Justice Kick, Blitz captain of the Pride Troopers that protects Universe 11. His super maximum light speed mode allows him to achieve unbelievable speed. I'm gonna be honest, if he's not the fastest character in the game, or the top 3 fastest character in the game, I'm gonna be amazed. Like, there's nothing that much to talk about this slide, but if he's not like the fastest or the top 3 to 5 fastest, then something's wrong. basically, because he is made to be that fast. And we're gonna get to the other dude that claims that he's fast in a second. But first, Kakas, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Even in the last video, I didn't even remember it, but at least I remember it started with a K. But I'm gonna call it K. I'm gonna call her K for now. Beast Warrior traits, a member of the main squadron from Universe 2. She has a wild combat style using her claws and fangs. Her special move and strategy are focused on closing the gap with your opponents. She's probably like a rushdown character for the most part, from that description alone. But that's really about it. And for Birder, he takes pride in being the fastest in the universe and specializes in speed-based combat. His after image technique allows him to easily evade attacks. It's very interesting that they specifically mention after image technique, because I don't think it will be exclusive only to Birder, but the fact they feel like they needed to mention it feels like not everyone will have this, right? Because after image, as for those that don't know, it's you can kind of think of it as just a built-in dodge. Like if you activate it just as your opponent's about to attack you, or even a little earlier than that, you can just blink to another location, and you can kind of just, you know, avoid the attack entirely if you did it smart, right? And the fact that Birders got the fact they are putting this in like quotations is very interesting to me. It's like, okay, how many characters will have after image technique? How many won't? If they don't, for the characters that don't have it, what are their other options? Do they even have another option? It's just like, just something that I was thinking about a little bit before making this. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't really think so. This is just me going through the English scans, because the last video I was only going off of visual, like what I was looking at, what I could understand, and all that jazz, and like speculating. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. Shout out to Shonen Games once again for the English translation scans, and also I think there was somebody else. The translation was by Ryujik. I don't know if I said that name right. Sorry if I butcher it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.